Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys another Sweaty Thursday. The idea of this, for those of you that are new to Sweaty Thursday, this is for the people that don't really have a lot of time to play a bunch throughout the week and grind 24/7. Whether you have like a family, a normal job, just, other priorities that doesn't allow you to slam LOR constantly. That's for you. It's to give you guys kind of like a meta update for the weekend, for the people that play primarily on the weekends. If you're trying to get your gauntlet, your prime glories, all that type of stuff, this is the video series for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the two decks I would recommend playing for ladder this weekend if you were to try hard, including the deck that I would play if I was try harding ladder this weekend, as well as what a lineup looks like if there are any type of community tournaments going on this weekend, or the gauntlet, something of that nature. I recommend this the lineup that I don't know if I would probably bring it. I think this is probably the closest thing I would bring. Like if I had to go to a tournament right now, this is for sure what I would bring. If it was like a smaller tournament with maybe you're trying to hard counter stuff, there's a bunch of different things you could do. But for the most open field, if you're just doing like an open community tournament or like I said, gauntlet, this lineup would be pretty good for you. So yeah, so let's just get into it. So the first deck is going to be, surprise, surprise, Lulu Jinx. So Lulu Jinx, insanely strong deck, really good deck. A lot of people consider it to be the best deck in the game right now. Jinx is insanely strong at the moment. The super mega death rocket buff where she just gets one on level up has been just done wonders for this champion, done wonders for the aggro archetype in general. So people are just trying to figure out what's the best Jinx deck, what's the best way to abuse this broken champion, and it turns out it's just in Lulu Jinx. So Lulu Jinx, I put out a quick 60-second short, YouTube short on how to play the deck, which you guys should go check that out. And if you enjoy those 60-second little short deck guides where I essentially just go over how the deck is played and little mulligan advice for it, let me know down in the comments below, because I could definitely make those for essentially every deck in the meta and even some non-meta decks. If you guys are interested in playing some weird decks, it'll tell you how to play the weird decks. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know down in the comments below. But you can go check that short out, as well as I'll probably just put a full-on deck guide out for this because it is so popular and it's for sure going to be a staple and mainstay for seasonals. I don't really see this deck going anywhere. A lot of people have tried hard targeting it and hard countering it, and it's still not really working. It works against like lower rated players, but I think that top players are still just completely dominating with this deck, and it's just doing really well. So yeah, not gonna get too much into it, but essentially this deck just swarms the board early, and then you either use Lulu with Flame Chompers to take control of the board, because turn 3 a 4/4 challenger is just gonna kill anything at that point. And then you're gonna use cards like Get Excited, Jinx, and Sneezy Biggle Dust to kind of create these big burst damage turns in the mid to late game. So yeah, that's what you look out for. On mulligans, I kind of just try to mulligan for cheaper units. If you're attacking on odds, I highly recommend just hard mulliganing for the Lulu curve, because Lulu is just so strong. And if you're attacking on evens, I recommend trying to go more for the Sneezy Biggle Dust game plan, because if you're attacking on evens, you get a whole extra turn to develop before you get to attack, so that can really create Sneezy Biggle Dust opportunities to push a lot of burst damage with a it's focus speed or burst speed open attack of giving your whole team +1/+1/+2/+2. So big recommendation for that. That's how you decide whether to go for Sneezy or Lulu. And then the biggest thing I recommend I try to avoid is the discard traps. And that's like people keeping a bunch of cards that either need to discard to be good, but then you don't have any cards to discard, or vice versa, where you keep like a bunch of Jury Rigs and Flame Chompers and stuff, but you don't actually have any ways to discard them. Like you don't have the Scrap Heap, you don't have the Zonite Urchin, and then now you just have like a handful of Flame Choppers and cards that want to be discarded. So I try to keep a balance in there, trying to keep like as even as possible, just so that way you don't get those super awkward hands. So that's the deck I would be playing if I was hard climbing this weekend. And then the second deck would be Heimer Nora. So Heimer Nora has popped up a lot in popularity lately, mostly because it beats attempts to beat Lulu Jinx. So you can beat a lot of people in Lulu Jinx if they're not used to this deck, or if they're just not really prepared and know how to beat it. You can do a pretty good job at least getting to a spot to where you should be able to beat most of them. This deck is taken off the highest rated Norra Heimer player right now in NA. So the list looks kind of funky, plays like sapling toss and stuff, but it's really solid. Sapling toss is a really decent way to kill off a bunch of 2 HP units that you have to worry about, like flame chompers, really good. Opposing Norra is really good. It's a good way to put their Lulus or their Jinx to like 1 or 2 HP. If it's a level Jinx, it goes to 2. If it's a regular Lulu, it goes to 1 HP, and then you kill it with, you know, your plethora of 1 damage spells. You have Pokey Stick, Vile Feast, Group Shot, stuff like that. So yeah, this deck, if you haven't played this deck before, it's not really a new concept. You kind of just stall a whole bunch, wait for Heimer Nora to kind of pop off. This version is not playing Sneezy and Pico Dust, but it is playing Yordle Captain. So it's a way to make your portals just larger. If you slam, you know, a Yordle Captain on turn 4, a lot of times you can make your units fairly decently sized. And then now they're big enough to either like contest and actually fight the Lulu Jinx decks, fight the mid-range decks, apply a lot of pressure into the control decks, and then your control opponent or whoever has to use removal spells on your Yordle Captain, well, now they don't have them for your Heimerdinger, they don't have them for your leveled up Norra, and that's going to be really good for you either way. And then the last thing we're getting into here is the lineup. So the lineup I would play is kind of an aggressive style all-in lineup. So here I have 2 Katarina decks. But you don't have to play Katarina here. You can just play Red Gwen, and then you just take out the Katarinas and play like Elise or something. So that's probably what I would do, and you mess around with a little bit of the ratios here. Probably add in, where's the 1 drop here? Probably add in like a Crimson Pigeon, or you can add in the like 1/2 Fearsome unit. I don't know where that one is. Oh, here it is. The like burgeoning sentinel. There's a lot of things you can do here. So before you guys start flaming the comments with, you have a legal lineup. I know that. It's just that I think both these decks are really solid. So this is what I would play. I would try to play something similar to this. If you have a deck that's similar to Red Gwen, you can play that too. Like Aatrox here is also very solid. You play Aatrox Kane, Aatrox Vayne. Either one of those decks is really good. Like I said, you just take the Katarinas out of this one and play, you know, 2 Elise, play random, you know, 40th card, and you're good to go, you know. So that's this is a lineup I would recommend. It's very solid, very low to the ground. All 3 of these decks are very good decks. So you have the upside of just beating all of the bad random lineups, which is something very important, something very good that you want to cover when you're playing in these gauntlets, where you could be playing like literal Iron 4 people that have garbage decks, or you're going to be playing against like rank 1 players that have an actual lineup. This deck is this lineup is going to be strong enough to carry you through both of those because of just the raw power behind all 3 of these decks. So that's what I would recommend to play in some sort of tournament or gauntlet. As far as Red Gwen goes, this deck's not new, so I'm going to go over it too much. You kind of just play mid-range, build up hollow stacks, Gwen, Eternal Dancers, Reckoner, stuff like that, Heroine kind of into the game. People say like, oh, you need Katarina in the game. You can play like a couple, what are they called? You can play like 1 to 2 of the Fervors if you really need face damage, but because it has Might in it, Might will end the games for you a lot of the time with your big ass Gwen and then your free attack from Ruined Reckoner. So that's what I recommend. And the other deck we're going to go over, I actually have a video coming out on this deck next week. I just recorded it. Is going to be the Leona Katarina deck. So this is like a Daybreak aggro style deck, and this is the deck that actually had the highest win rate in all of Masters Ladder yesterday when I did, or not yesterday, but when I did my meta Monday, it had the highest win rate, which is fucking hilarious. And the deck looked bad. I decided to try it out, and I think I went like 5-1 with it or something. Like I lost my very first game with the deck because I was getting familiar with the deck, and I essentially threw. Like, I had the game won, I just needed an open attack, but instead I threw by developing. And I proceeded to win 5 games in a row after that. I think I gained 60 LP in like 30 minutes or something, 35 minutes. So, deck is very, very solid, very strong. It's just kind of like you'll play overstated units with Daybreak mechanic, be kind of aggressive here, and then have your top end with the triple Decimate, triple Fervor, Leona challenging to the side, Reveler's Feast just being an insane amount of damage when your opponent's just not expecting it. So that's the behind this deck. I'll probably make a 60-second short on how to play that one. So yeah, if you guys are looking forward to that, and as far as the deck guide to that and the deck guide to Lulu Jinx, make sure to subscribe, all that stuff. Let me know down in the comments what decks you guys are using for ladder this weekend, so that way if people, maybe you don't want to play these 2 decks, go check the comments down below and find out what other people are playing and maybe have a conversation down there. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.